Hello everybody and welcome back to another Zabbix video. This time I'm talking about problem list in Zabbix, active problems, the ones usually used by Zabbix dashboards and used by like read-only users. And I want to highlight the aspect that sometimes Zabbix administrator can make a decision and disable a host, disable an item, or disable a trigger. And what it does, actually, it is just hiding that noise from the inside the graphical interface. I'm talking about if the problem is already like rendered inside the dashboard and it's disabled afterwards. The front end will just hide it and the database will still hold it, and it's possible that the database table is aggregating hundreds or even thousands of those disabled entities, and actually the front end will sacrifice, like all the dashboards can like maybe not sacrifice too much, but if you kind of are into the micromanaging, when it just does not make sense to you when you click a button in the graphical interface and it needs to iterate through 10,000 disabled problems, it is kind of waste of resources. It can lose very fractional of a millisecond, but in long run it's just not the way to go. Let's a little bit address what I am talking about. This is at Zabbix dashboard, the problems list, and when we use sections recent problems and problems, then the front end is using the table problem. And I want to show also the evidence and how to learn what exactly front end is doing. And to do that, I will open my own user card. Here the admin, and I will add the debug mode here, click, and actually I will lower down rows per page. Instead of 500 it will be 5 rows per page. Update. Now here we immediately see debug is working and printing back how this section has been rendered, what kind of SQL queries are done. Now going back to that problems page here, the same page I was showing, and we have the bug mode. Yeah, it's actually sitting behind my face, but this section is automatically showing what was done database wise. And my point here, if we do Ctrl F and search this string like from prob and press do we have any match, press, and we can see this page has been rendered by going to the problems table, and that table can sometimes also store disabled entities. I will show all the sections which use this table, and let's go over here. So history table actually do not use, I mean history section tab it's not using, but recent problems also using. So if I click apply here, it is doing some work, and if we search again, then this table is in the list. Also regarding dashboarding, going to the dashboards here, I will create a new widget, and I know we have widget problem hosts, problems by severity. All these three widgets, they are quite heavily used, and they are useful. We can press here problems by severity, and I will save the widget somewhere. Where is the save button? It is okay. I will press enter then. Enter, and widget is here. If we here are my host groups, save the dashboard, and here while loading the dashboard, while loading this widget, if we refresh the page, and I can do Ctrl F over here and search, and I can see this widget is it's asking also severity because it's a problem by severity widget, and it's accessing this table. Now, where is that where is the dirt? Let's call it that way. And by the way, talking about addressing the amount of problems, it's quite a handy exercise. If we go here, problems, go here on this section, apply, and here my front end prints back table with 5 records, and it also tells the overall statistics, how many problem events you have. And it would be really great if we can fit like in 4-digit numbers, like not have more than 10,000 open problems. That's like no good. Like all the users will sacrifice. If you have more than 10,000 problems, every time you refresh the dashboard, like the database needs to run this SQL query. Hopefully the table is loaded into the memory and it's like snappy fast, but still it's not good to think that it needs to iterate through so many problems. Okay, and now I want to highlight like this kind of like dirt, what happens behind the curtains, and we can do a database query which is asking the problems table, please print records, and here this constraint host status 1 is show only stuff for disabled hosts. This one asks, like, by the way, there is or as well. So either disabled hosts or disabled items or disabled triggers. And here, the rest is less important in this context. So I'm running database query which asks, like, please show how many disabled stuff, how many problems for disabled entities, and press enter. And myself, like, I do have like full screen of records, and if I hold down the enter, like in total I have 49 records. So let's clear the screen, run again, and just to double check, the first column indicates the host name, and I can like copy this to the clipboard, open the graphical interface, put it in the search field, press enter, and I can see my host is disabled. If I go to the triggers section, then actually the triggers are still sitting in the problem state. I want to show another example which is not like a real host disabled entity, and that is like disabled trigger. Here Zabbix server, this host probably exists in every Zabbix instance. If we also put here in the search, enter, go to the triggers and ask like their Zabbix software, show all disabled triggers over here, apply, and here you go, like I have a trigger disabled, but before it was disabled it is in the problem state. And if we open trigger setup here, the real damage would come sometimes if we use this problem event generation multiple. For example, for the log file monitoring or for SNMP traps, it's possible that one trigger is responsible about rendering a lot of problems, and it may be rendered like 10,000 and you disabled, and now like the database sacrificed this all the widgets like will query, do extra lifting, and it's not necessary stuff. If this is disabled for a year, it's giving no use. And I want to share one workaround. Like, it's not a real solution, but like if you know this trigger really use multiple, the real ultimate fix can be that we would visit here template over here, go to the template level. I have nested templates, click here. So now I am at the like module level or at the template level, and I can clone this trigger. Usually cloning is fine, clone, and I can add like extra number here at the end. And my goal, and let's say like maybe I will use this trigger in the future, and I will clone the trigger and make the clone in a disabled state. here create enabled, and if it's enabled, if the checkbox is off, it will create a disabled trigger. And now add. So I don't want to really erase the trigger too much, but I made a clone to not lose, let's say, to not lose the logic, and to get rid of this to get rid of record inside the database. I can now delete the original. Because I made a clone, I'm safe, and so let's delete the original. And if this trigger was responsible about like rendering thousands of events, now the built-in housekeeper will get rid of all those records. Last bit I wanted to share is like this housekeeper setting, which is complementing this story. So a problem can be open for like a long time. It can be like open for months, for years, and in the parallel we can also decide to disable the trigger, which still will keep the problem in the database. What I'm trying to say is that Zabbix software will never delete open problems, like absolutely never. No matter how aggressive we go here, trigger data storage period, Zabbix can remove the evidence only if the problem went away, and only then it will respect this, like I want to keep the evidence older, like not older than 15 days. So if the problem remains open, or maybe it's a disabled trigger, it will stay forever. It will be included in all the backups, and it's like more open problems will always slow down the user experience, and it will increase the size of Zabbix backup. Like that's another thing to keep in mind. That's everything for this video. If you find it helpful, give it a thumbs up. The database query is compatible with the MySQL or PostgreSQL. This query is compatible with the Zabbix 7, Zabbix 8, and I think also Zabbix 6 as well. Goodbye.